Hey, this is Dragon Feather, and I was YouTubing, and I saw this video posted a little bit ago by Pig Egyptian. I don't know if you guys watch her, if you guys have seen the video, but she made a video called Ask Why Paganism. And it's all about questioning what you really do. And as she was saying this, you know, people are like, witches have cauldron and a wand. They do. It's just a witchy item. And she said herself that she went out and bought that because it said that and it was very expensive. Now, I'm not really gonna go into details of what you should and shouldn't buy, but the point here is that you don't need anything to practice paganism. You really don't. It just, the tools, like crystals and stuff, those tools are really just for focusing your energy. Now think about it. Are you, like as she said, are you doing this because your religion, just because they said to do it, or are you doing it because it means something to you? So you should really question, why are you doing this? And as I'm going to go into a little more deeper than she did, but you should really do tons of shadow work, tons of meditation, and tons of, sorry, there's noises, and tons of like sitting and listening to yourself, listening to your heart and being like, what really rings true to me? Now, you know, having a god and goddess candle, not all people believe in a god and goddess. Some people are atheists. Some people are atheistic witches, which is totally cool. They're spiritual atheists, which is totally possible. They just don't believe in a higher power. They believe that you can become spiritual, but like there's no god or goddess or creator kind of thing. Now another thing is that you want to focus on what tools do you really think you need. If you really think you need a wand, by all means, make a wand. Don't go out and buy one. Make a wand. And even if you're not that creative, you don't have to like adorn the wand with, you know, string and thread and, you know, crystals, and you don't have to do that. You can just go get a freaking stick that you find outside, you know, hold it where the handle would be, you know, take a knife and carve all the wooden part off of it and then have the bark as the handle. That is the simplest thing ever, and anyone can carve a frickin' tool unless they don't have hands. That is the only way you can't do that. Now, think about it. Really think about it. Are you practicing this just because I told you to? Just because another YouTuber, a book, you know, a video told you to do that? Or are you doing it because it really, like, makes sense to you? Like, with me, you know, the normal, like, quarters, like, Earth is north, air is south, I believe, or fire is south, air is east, and water is west. That doesn't make sense to me. I know people practice that way, but that doesn't make sense to me. That's why air is north for me, because air is above us. Earth is south for me, because earth is below us. And water and fire are stuff that, like, go through us every day to day, you know? Like, fire isn't, you know, below us. I mean, technically, I guess you could say, but like when fire burns, it doesn't burn below you, it burns all around. So it's like on the side, you know? And that's my logic with it. Same thing with the seasons. Certain seasons, like autumn, corresponds with most people to water. For me, winter goes with water because frozen water falls down, you know, snow. Autumn for me is air because the wind is blowing all the time. Spring to me is earth because everything is growing on the earth. And summer is fire because it's so hot. Like, that's, to me, those are my elemental correspondences. I did a video on the seasons a long time ago. But anyway, like, you really need to question yourself. Like, don't just be like, okay. Just be like, why? Like, if someone says, you know, like, rose quartz is for love. Ask why. Why is it for love? Why is it like that? And then if you don't understand, like, here's a piece of rose quartz. Hold it in your hand and if it doesn't make sense to you that rose quartz is just for unconditional love, for friendship, and just for love in general, hold it in your hand and focus on it, and what properties does it relay to you? Like, if it relays something totally different, like if it relays like life to you and blooming, then it's not for love for you. You know, hell, hematite could be for love for you if that's the way it makes you feel. I mean, it's really up to you, and don't like just accept something because it's told to you. Like, seriously, you need to question things. You need to find out things for yourself, and that's what paganism is pretty much all about. It's about finding your own spiritual path through, like, let's just say the sort of structure of Wicca. Like, Wicca has a structure. Wicca is a religion, but it also practices witchcraft, and witchcraft is a big part of that religion, though not all Wiccans are witches. I mean, it's just, they're not witches because they don't believe in that, you know? They might have rituals, but they don't have, like, rituals. Like, they could have festivals and go to, like, celebrating Ostar or celebrating Halloween. Maybe the way they celebrate Samhain is by celebrating Halloween, going trick-or-treating and stuff like that, having a nice dinner, you know? It's really up to you, like, because, you know, spots are celebrated, doing a ritual every dark and full moon doesn't mean you have to do one. It doesn't mean you have to sit down and do a ritual and do all this stuff, you know. And just because, another thing that Pig Egyptian was talking about is just because, you know, a book says walk around in a circle and envision the circle with the blue light, she's like, blue light, like, very monotone. You really need to, like, focus it, like, sit there for a second, walk around in a circle, and then when you're done, sit there for a second and envision this circle, like, coming alive. I mean, it's really not like, oh, circle's there, woo, the circle is cast, woo. No, it doesn't work that way. It won't work that way if that's how you do it. You have to believe it works, and as you're pointing your wand, your fingers, the palm of your hand, you know, your wooden wand, you know, you can have wands made out of anything. It can be made out of shells, it can be made out of metal, it can be made out of bone, it can be made out of freaking a brush. You can use a brush as a wand. You can use a comb or a toothbrush as a wand. You can use any phallic object or phallic object as that specific thing, you know? You can use anything. You could use a Sharpie, you could use a pencil, you could use anything for a wand. You don't have to have, like, a freaking, like, gorgeous wand, you know? I mean, I have a crystal wand that's about this long. Wands are supposed to be like this long or like this long. Mine's this long and it works just fine. That's what I use. And you know what? No one is going to tell me what to do. That's the way it feels right to me. And if it feels right to you, by all means, that's what you're supposed to do. Because that's the way it works. You know, if you don't want to use a besom, don't use a besom. I don't have a besom. I'll make a besom just to have a besom or to show you guys how to make one. But I mean, little tiny broom. All you gotta do is find a freaking twig that's like this long, go collect a bunch of dried pine needles, and wrap it in a wire, and you got yourself a besom. I'll make a video on it if you guys want me to, but it's really simple. And, you know, just go find a wand. Go find something. Don't pay for it if you don't want to. I didn't pay for a cauldron. I made that. You know? If you don't have a pentacle, freaking print a picture out of a pentacle, cut it out, and use that as your pentacle. You know, I mean, you can really use anything. Use a sand dollar, use a freaking cookie cutter, and cut out a piece of clay. I mean, the limits are endless. I mean, but just seriously, sit down and sort in your book of shadows. If you don't use a book of shadows, use a piece of paper and sort down what you believe in and what you don't believe in, and things that you're not so sure about, and then go and find and understand why you're not so sure about that. You know, and that will eventually lead you to your true spirituality. Like, I may be Wiccan today, but I may be just pagan tomorrow. I may be freaking shamanistic tomorrow. You never know what's gonna happen. But really, focus on what you really think is true to you and decide that way. Like, don't just listen to somebody else. But I'm running out of time, and for any questions or comments, or to have a discussion about this, leave them below and let me know, and we'll talk about it. And I hope this helped, and don't forget to find out what's true to you. And blessed be, and bye.